Hi everyone. Today I would like to welcome Maria Kucherenko, VP and co-founder of a company called MWD Planet. She's an entrepreneur, she's a newcomer to Canada, she has been here for 21 years, and she has been an entrepreneur for 21 years as well. So please, let's welcome Maria. Hi Maria.
Hello, Samir. How are you today? And thank you inviting me for such, moment and event and discussion.
Thank you for being open to having this conversation. Really appreciate you here. When we first met, you shared some stories with me, and I really appreciated them. So I hope that you could share some of those stories today as well. Let's talk about your journey, but let's first begin with your arrival to Canada. So you came here 20 years ago. You came here, you didn't have a network, you're all fresh, and you decided to go into business. So what was your first entrepreneurial spark? What told you that how going into business is the best choice of action here in Canada for you?
Actually, it was not a business right away. However, the way how we arrived to Canada and what we have done in preparation, I would call this as an entrepreneurial spark, because we came here, we didn't know anyone, and information was not available at all, or support like today, and you have to do something. What we knew for sure that we have to start from scratch, and we have to do something, right? And people would ask me, why you chosen Calgary and why you chosen, Alberta province? And I would typically answer, what, guys, Calgary is a sunny city, and by then, was beautiful and amazing, nature in Alberta, and economy was great, and as well, housing affordable, no, PST, only GST. So, but main reason was not this. Back then, I knew it that I would get a job. This is what was, number one, reason we moved to Calgary. And I would like to elaborate a little bit how it did happen. So Canada was second time when I arrived, and it was January 27th. It was like minus 40 degrees Celsius. And I like, oh my gosh, what I'm doing? I'm voluntarily moved myself to Siberia and the whole family as well. And next day, believe it or not, I had, interview, and I got a job. I didn't know what the job, I didn't know how I would be doing this job, and plus I didn't drive. So for me, driving actually was the biggest challenge. You should see me driving on 9th Avenue, south, east, when I was driving opposite direction. And, I passed, actually driving test, and then I had to do it, right? So, sorry, Calgary, but it was me. And, waving, by maps and saying, oh, I'm, foreigner or tourist. So before coming to Canada, when we obtained all immigration documents, we decided, we had some arguments as a family, maybe Toronto, maybe Vancouver, maybe Calgary. And I sent a couple of resumes to different companies located at those big cities. And suddenly only one response was, and it was from Calgary. But you can imagine how it was. I, typed letter, and we didn't have any, AI will help you with, writing professional letter. And you writing, dear sir. And I put whole kind of, my life in email, why I'm moving, what I want to do, and my portfolio attached. Mm-hmm. And guess what? Next day I received answer, where do you live? No hi, no nothing, just where do you live? And they're like, really? This is not what I expected. And I'm like, okay. My answer was simple, at home. So this is how we started conversation. Mm-hmm. And potential future employer who became actually my mentor and good friend for years, he, just invited me, come over, let's talk and see. It was a good sign, right? Yeah. But no guarantees that I would move and next day I would get a job. I did started, and I didn't know how business was working. Back in Ukraine, we have different channel, different business arrangement in this case. So let's say I was working for Philips Lighting, and it was like, distributor and directly, to manufacture our relationship. Here you have a, lighting agency, for instance, and then distributor, and then, even wholesaler. So different arrangement. However, you have to start with, in order to generate pure or spec, you have to start working with architects or designers.
Yeah.
And mainly, I was first person who did this. When, I got job, technical sales rep at Valve Lighting, I didn't realize what, my journey would be. And, actually I managed to create network within 3 months and brought big project, Calgary Hospital, Children's Hospital. So no driving. I was doing on a bus or, taking even taxi. So this was my motivation, because I didn't want to fail, right?
Yes.
Family.
Yeah.
And then, and didn't want to look as a loser, because I moved to Canada and I have to be successful. This is what was my motto, and that's it.
This is definitely something I hear from a lot of people who move here, is that they want to prove that they made the right choice, especially to their friends and family who are still back home, so that when, they go back and they say, hey, no, I am successful in Canada. I was able to find myself, so I completely understand that.
Yeah, even, was pay like less than back in Ukraine, but you still couldn't share those, details.
Yes.
You're just happy, you've got a job, and you work hard. And actually, how I did it, my network, you've got Yellow Pages book, and I went through list huge architects and designers, and I called them, introduced myself, and was wondering, was they willing to meet me and, to see how I can help them to make money and beauty together. Mm-hmm. And this is how it happened, that within, short period of time, I created network of clients, good even friends, and, and I was engaged in very great prestigious projects. So my projects like Lancaster, Science Center, Calgary Airport, you name it. Big list. So I did a little bit touch, but you wouldn't believe when I came here first and I looked at Calgary, and I'm coming from beautiful city called Lviv Lember, architectural, 750 years old, and I like, what we are illuminating here, we have to hide. But with timing, you learn that, this is tiny, maybe, tiny or, not huge history city, has charisma, has culture still, and has something, which attracted attention and was bringing a lot of newcomers and immigrants by 20 years ago. Not because only economy, Western Canada is more welcoming than Eastern Canada. I was working in Toronto in 2000, so I knew it. And plus friendly, very friendly people. And we'll never forget another very memorable, moment in our life when after 6 months, whole, family was working and had a job. We decided to buy a house, and it was scary, having mortgage, right? And sometimes people say, oh, you long, you lived, you're in marriage for so long. What keeps you, together? Like mortgage, right? Because you have to pay this mortgage. Yeah, no romantic behind. And it was scary when you purchase first house, it was cost like 200,000, and you're like, oh my gosh, what we will be doing, how we will survive, because it was huge, amount from your payroll check. And we moved, 3 of us, and we've got a little, cat called Masya, which means little in Ukrainian language. And this Masya was very little, and she lived with us actually 20 years. She died a year ago. And for cat, it's a pretty long, time. And when we, moved to our house, it was empty. 3 of us and luggages, and that's it. And I was crying, what I will be doing, how we will, manage to bring, everything, settle down. And neighborhood heard that we newcomers. And next day, we had everything, from spoon to the best furniture. You will never forget this when people were upset when I couldn't take it some more because they thought that we are arrogant. No, I couldn't. I could do, next day garage sale because I've got a whole complete house within one day. And when we moved for, like a few years ago during COVID to another, property, we left. What we've got, we left for, another owner because we've got for free and we decided another family should enjoy it, right?
Dear friends, I would like to take a quick pause right now to say thank you to Sergey from New West Video for helping out with all of our visuals today. And if you want to find out more, there's a link below. And I would also like to say thank you to Angelika for helping with all the social media marketing. And guess what? There's also a link below to find out more. And also, one favor from you. Please like and subscribe. And share the video with your friends and family. That's a very beautiful story because the way the neighborhood came together to help out, and that is one of the things I really like about Calgary, is that the spirit is still alive. People still help each other. Maybe the city is getting bigger and bigger, and of course, when the city becomes bigger, there's different challenges. But the basics, the foundation of Calgary is still the same.
Absolutely.
That spirit of helping. Because when I moved here as well, I did not know anyone, it all starting all from scratch, and the amount of people who helped me even is tremendous. So I completed love that story.
Yeah, and I will, never forget, right? And we've met and made a lot of new friends. We didn't, meet anyone from, back, my country or, from any countries from, post-Soviet Union. And we didn't have chance even to speak, other language than English, which was good and good practice, right? However, we found some challenges to communicate or ask, particular questions with new friends. And they didn't understand how to help us because what the question will be answered. We would ask how to go and open bank account. And they go and, to any bank and open bank account. And I no. It can be so easy, right? But my question would be more appropriate if I ask, okay, which bank more, helping to newcomers and ready to give credit or mortgage, okay? Or which bank is better for, local business if you, start this business or for international. So this is where, we had miscommunication. And it's not only language barrier, mostly because, we had some, preparation already. Language was not the biggest challenge for us. Not knowing people, okay, they smile and you think, oh, he's a nice guy, but he just smiles. It's just, part of culture. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean you will get business with this guy. Secondly, you just, look at person and you don't know how to behave. Because we coming from country and part of our culture, emotional. We act, we loud, we articulate. And some people would consider, especially local Canadians, they argue or, they fight. And we're scary, by our behavior. Or some situation happens and you behave how you behave with your background, with your behavior, and not like it should be or supposed to be, right? And we scary people sometimes. Right now is different because we have more and more people coming. It's more multicultural, and especially for the last couple of years, we've got even more people from Ukraine. So for them, there are still challenges, however, much easier to adjust and adapt. And back then was pluses and minuses. Pluses, you were alone with the idea that you need, to do something and can be wrong, and you didn't have anyone that would, give you some advice.
Yes, I think that's one of the biggest challenges also, is being there without a roadmap. Because if someone has already done that, you at least know them, what mistakes they've made, and try not to make the same mistakes. Whereas if you're the first one that going through these challenges, it makes it even more harder because you don't know if you're making the right choice or not.
Absolutely. And especially when I came to decision. I, want to give up with sales, and I want to start my own and perform as a, self-employee, or let's say solo. I was pretty sure that, I have already, clients, right? I built relationship. It will be piece of cake. It will be very easy right now to work with them. They know how I operate. They know what I am capable and what, quality I will deliver. Unfortunately, it didn't happen how, I expected. Because when I was working for a big corporation, I had, some backup, right?
Yes.
And people here, they have established relationship for years, trust, relationship. And maybe they are not happy with each other, but they know what to expect, number one. Second point, when you just by yourself, people asking, will you be able to deliver on time? Will you be able to take this big project? What if happens something with you? So they are not eager to give you, just opportunity because you just by yourself. So it was moment I was literally close to give up because I would, reach the same people and, come in and, offering them what, advantages and value proposition with me, right? And, my price will be better and I can do this and that and I can help with this. And you know what? They would listen, they would welcome, they would never say no, but nothing would come.
Yeah, it's more of both those a conversation after conversation, just for the sake of a conversation.
Yeah, and that's it.
Yeah.
And I like, why? You know what? They knew I can do it, right? So, but because of paying, bills and this mortgage and support family, as I tried to learn how to be patient. And actually, things changed when I was offered to join family business, what started by my husband. I didn't think it was a brilliant idea back then, I never dreamt even to work together with him. However, I thought as a company, I will have another image, more, deliver confidence, to client, which, worked very well. However, idea was that I will be doing my lighting stuff, and he will be doing his, electronics, R&D for oil gas industry. It did happen like always. You have to do everything. It's not your choice. You just must, right?
Yes.
And if you ask, do I regret? I don't think so. I could stay as self-employee and do my lighting projects, enjoy what I'm doing, and easy because you get a job or project and perfect. You didn't, you just, wait for another one. But when you run business and you have employees, you're liable, you're responsible for those people. You have to pay salaries every 2 weeks. And in this case, you have more stresses, right? More pressure and more headaches. However, I wouldn't be the same person if I wouldn't join business because I had to learn a lot. Mm-hmm. And this is what I like. What I like about Canada, you always learn.
Yes, and we feel that my wife and myself, we had a conversation about this probably a year ago, is how we always want to strive for self-development here, to kind of enhance our skills, do something new, try something out. For some reason, back home, we were a bit more, let's say, complacent. We were happy, we were content. I was still getting a higher education. I was back home before moving here. I was working on my PhD at the time, but still it wasn't the same drive as I have here, where it's even if I don't have a certificate or a new letters coming up behind my name now, but I still want to learn something, get some more value, go to some event when I will listen to some interesting person speak and get that information. I don't know why, but the environment here is so that it strives, like you strive for that.
Challenges, right?
Yeah.
It's the same as us. You see a time in 1996 when we came to decision that nothing would change. We have to, just leave, unfortunately. 2004 was different. We were on the peak of our career and business. We have, created a beautiful network of our friends, right? And, money was not an issue anymore. We were making very good,
And that's back in Ukraine.
Yeah. Right? And suddenly when, we made decision, okay, let's move to Canada, the we wanted challenge because what we felt, we just, reached our level, right? And to our satisfaction. And you don't want to develop yourself. You're just, happy with what you have. And this is not drives when you want, some improvements in you. And Canada, apparently, even learning, English, some people believe, and my husband including, that he spoke English. Apparently, he didn't. And he came. It was perfect timing for us because I did some nasty translations, for him. And he was quiet for 6 months. It was great. But, he had to learn and push himself. And we lucky or we successful or we work hard, I don't know, but we already got jobs, we didn't even expect.
Yeah. But in terms of pushing yourself, in terms of keeping going, what's your biggest motivation? What is this thing that makes you want to get to that level most of the time? Kind of, you're going from having a job to becoming an entrepreneur, then you're going to join your husband. You look into developing yourselves, getting new skills. What is your motivation? What keeps you going?
You know what, Samir, learning, it's just biggest, strengths of mine. And it was not even money. I wouldn't say, as a business owner, money doesn't matter. No, it's not true. However, I put some, level. And if, and I'm not genius, I'm not, so talented, like, for instance, my daughter. However, I'm very persistent and I never give up. And I okay, I have here, I need to reach this level. Yes, okay. And another, it's just me, okay. And I remember when I had to make decision to do those professional engineering, apply for a BAG or not. What will give me, right? Money? I don't think so. And I had to do one only exam. And it was multi-choice. I hate it, and many people failed 6 times they were doing. I did once, and I also was not successful. And I was complaining about this, exam to my accountant. And he look at me, and he was age 75. And he said, yesterday I passed the exam. I'm like, wow, no, zip your mouth and go for it, okay? It was impressive. What I like about Canada, age doesn't matter. It's who you are, and people always need you. If you know what you're doing, you will be an actually perfect example. Last year, my best mentor died at age 90. He died at desk. So it's better to die from, work than from dementia, I guess.
I completely agree on that note. So my grandmother, she used to be an eye surgeon, but she retired. And I could see how dementia really affected her and how she deteriorated after, and it really accelerated after the retirement. Whereas my grandfather's younger brother, he still works for the Science Academy back home, still writes papers. He's in his 90s now. And he walks a bit slower, but his brain functions. He cites poetry. So my personal feeling is you always have to work. Maybe you retire, but do something on the side. But a brain is like any other muscle. It needs exercise. And the best way to exercise is be at your desk, do something, learn something, continue educating yourself, memorizing things, new poems, stories, whatever it is, whatever you enjoy. But I do also like your point about persistence. I feel some people lose motivation and they don't persist enough, and that's why they don't accomplish some things that they could have accomplished with just one last push. So when you get to that stage where you feel like you just need that one last push, what is it that tilts you over to make that push? Is it your internal kind of mandate that you tell yourself that, no, I must do it? Or is it more about that, that the family relies on you? And what is that motivation to do that last push?
I think family first, and thanks to my husband, because he always criticized me. And if I do something not he expects, and like, did you think? Who are you? you're an engineer or what? And I don't want to look like I'm dumb, so I have to push. Not easy at all, but I don't have choice, right? So I cannot sit and cry.
Yeah.
I cannot complain. I cannot allow people to feel sorry for me. Why? I'm healthy. I have everything what I need. And thanks God, we are here, in dealing with beautiful nature, and we protect it, right? So we have everything working for us. We are blessed to live, and actually Canada, regardless what people say, that Canada not the same, like 20 years ago. True, however, nothing is the same.
Nothing stays the same. That's the whole purpose of evolution, right? Nothing should stay the same.
No, nothing should stay the same. And when people come into Canada, and I would say there are two categories. One who never traveled and then didn't access information, how, they should live and what they should do abroad. And Canada shocking, for them, style living, because we work, only work, not so much time for, joy. Opposite in Europe, you have everything, more for enjoyable life and different style of living. And people who travel, then suddenly they come here and expect, well, it should be different. Why it should be different, right?
Yeah.
What you did that will be different, right?
Mm-hmm. No, and honestly, I think that is one of the biggest things is when you're moving to a new country, is doing your research so that when you are here, or not just Canada, but wherever you're planning to move, is that you know what to expect. Because I feel that most of the disappointments come from people who didn't do their research. So they had this vision in their heads of one thing, and then they get into a completely different thing. It's the same with a relationship between people. If a person's starting a relationship with another person, if they don't know what to expect, then they have illusions. And once those illusions are broken, that's when hurt happens. So yes, the same. Do your research, understand what you're doing, especially these days when, you mentioned that when you came, it was very hard to access information. You were still able to do some research. Whereas now, the whole internet is accessible. There's AI. There's so many tools that can help you out. So it should be easier.
Much easier. I don't know what happened with humanity, and especially young generation. They, rely more on social media and, just typing, right? It's like ghost typing and sending messages versus communication. You cannot replace communication, human communication. This is the biggest right now. This is what we suffer all. Find friends, find people who are the same, thinking, work attitude. And I hear all the time, it doesn't matter where I lived, performed back in Ukraine, Europe, and here, I hear it's hard to find a job. What do you do to find a job? If you sit, cry, or expect or rely on someone who can, help you with job, career, and your life, nothing happened. You have to, do it on your own. And many times, I will help, of course. We did help a lot. But when someone comes and asking for advice, I'm just suggesting you just need to do more your homework. Find companies where you believe your skills, your background, your experience will fit. And grab resume, jump, on a bus, go to those companies, knock into the door and say, I want to work here. If you send resume by email, nothing will happen. I'm getting, how many? 100, resumes per week. I don't read all of them. I don't have even time for it. So people think that only connection, only who you know, maybe back in Ukraine, this is how it works. Here, not necessary. I'm not saying that relationship and who you know doesn't work. It's international.
But it's a combination.
It's a combination, right?
Yeah.
When I have your resume and I know company who is looking for you or your skills, I will just, direct or give reference. Okay,
Yeah, give a nudge, kind of.
Yeah. Maybe this person will be, interest, right? But not, I will call because I have some cousin or, uncle and say, what, this person is perfect. It's just my brother-in-law. You need to hire him. It doesn't work in Canada like this.
No, and it makes complete sense that it doesn't work. And I am happy that it doesn't work that way, because I believe in networking and making relationships and proving your worth, and that if someone else can give you the nudge, and that's how it should be, so that you go and do your own legwork as well. Because as the saying goes, the wolf is fed by its feet, right? So unless you do the legwork, it's hard to get the job. It's hard to grow here. But in terms of understanding and talking about those, cultural differences, from a perspective now that you are a leader, now that you are a co-founder of a company, has your communication style changed over the years?
Absolutely.
And how is it now working cross-culturally? Because I would imagine you have a lot of people from very different cultures now under your employ.
Yes, true. And it's not even this. We coming from city which multicultural. However, you have to be grown to level that you understand. You need to listen to people, watch, okay, and learn more about them. Each individual, it's just character, different personality. Plus, we're dealing with those genius, bright developers. You cannot push a button and tell them to do what you want them to do. And you can waive by contract and saying, this is for your roles and responsibilities. It wouldn't help. You have to find the way how to motivate them, how to encourage and get, to help them to get to the level where they need to be, and how they will contribute to your company. Push button doesn't work at all, okay? And those are not type of conveyor people. And we had, different, from different cultures, different nationalities, and the same with each person. You take him as your, it's just part of your family, okay, your team. And you need to learn a lot about this individual and behavior and thinking and mood, and as well what is happening with family and how he feels about this and that. And we try not to touch political or religious part because this is no. However, everything else does affect them.
Yes.
Everything, every news, and especially this year we have news, and you see how people, depressed, and you have to tell them, no, we have to focus. We have to do something with dignity. What we will do might help in you and family, and not only, right?
Yeah.
And listening for me, because when we speak, we repeat what we know, but when we listen, you at least learn something from individual. And in this case, you can be more, humble, right? Before I was not like this. I why? It needs to be done. Yeah. More in bossy way.
Go do it.
You go do it. Yeah. I don't care. You know what? You're not feeling well. Why? What is that?
Yeah.
We have deadline. Okay. Client doesn't care that you have headache or you're sick. You need to deliver. Now, maybe after COVID, especially, or before COVID, I tried to push myself to listen, right? Before it was not like this. And partially it's coming because it's a cultural, it's a national, part of you, and you don't understand how this cannot be done. I told you so, right?
Yeah.
And it's the same like you have kid or kids, you also can project. If you will be, pushy or you will be bossy, you will never get what you need.
Yes, and you will also, especially with kids, if you're too bossy with your kids, then you kind of suppress their individuality as well, which is not a good thing too.
No. And some people prefer direct response. Some, you have to be politically correct or indirect, or, to give example, this is what happened. What do you think? And this applies to this individual, and he like, yeah, and he agrees with you. Not necessarily he sees this, right away, but it takes time.
You kind of mold your way into it. You kind of shape him into understanding that needs to be done.
You hope so, you do. I am in we have to say male industry, right? And you will be surprised, in APEGA we have only 10% females. See, and sometimes you have to even prove it and earn, respect along those bright, individuals, developers. Even I have to stress developers, not engineers. Engineering, when you do what it's known, you have to just kind of copy-paste. With developing, you do something new, and you never know if it will work. It takes even more time, energy, and deliverables, right? And people don't understand what's the difference. And everybody, and what else happens, everybody believes they can do it. It's easy, right? And when you interview someone, he's saying, oh, yes, I can do it. Oh, yes, absolutely, 100%. And he doesn't lie. He's just confident he can do it. And suddenly you bring him on a project and he just struggles, on a basic level. And it's up to you what you want to do. You can just kill this person, right? And tell him you are absolutely a loser, right? Or you need to find the way how to help him, to just go over. And very sad when someone suddenly realizes he doesn't like Calgary, or he doesn't want to be in Canada, and he leaves. This is very painful for us, to build, to train, to coach, to mentor. Sometimes you need someone who will mentor and coach you, and I would, highly recommend anyone who plans or who has idea to start business, which is very easy in Alberta, to register a company 5 minutes. You just pay $500 and that's it. And plus, so much information available, so many organizations helping you with all tools, okay? Easy. And in terms of accounting, it's simple, not like back in Ukraine. And even filing taxes. So I will highly recommend. However, before to do so, I would, more spend time learning, not in a rush way, and more with timing, because this will help you to eliminate a lot of mistakes in a business especially, and relationship and communication. This is the difference between us and back, home. We are all on emotional level and who making decisions. Here takes time to develop relationship, trust, and you have to deliver. And what else? Calgary is a small village. You screw once, everybody knows. So your reputation, right, matters.
But it's also vice versa, right? Like if you do it once very well, everyone will know about it as well. And
yes, 100%. News spreading up so quickly, unbelievable. You even didn't do anything and people know already.
You're still thinking about it.
Yes, they already know. You have to be even careful what you say and about whom. Just information can be released very quickly.
Yes. But on the note of the business and the development, or maybe just in general of your journey here in Canada, what would you say would be the moment that you are most proud of? Maybe a moment that people will not find on paper, but a moment where you think, you reminisce, and brings some positive memories, brings a smile to you that I was able to do it and this happened.
When I was close to say goodbye, not only business and the relationship, and I didn't do it. And I'm proud, that I managed to save family and business. I'm not proud. I was so weak and emotional. It took me couple years to go over. It's not easy every day to deal, with challenges on a personal and separate personal and business. Okay, because you now you're responsible for all, and no so much room for error. And when you see some, I would say, mistakes might lead to not only drama, but financial bankruptcy, or when you see people who will damage business, and you don't agree bringing those people, and you don't have ability to explain and convince. This is where you want even to scream how to do it, how to convince your partner that this is wrong, right?
Yeah.
I wish I would have mentors prior 15 years, what I've got, a few years ago. Because sometimes you need, independent kind of judge.
Someone who is not involved,
who is
has
not involved,
no biases.
No biases, yeah. And you can communicate. Because you talk and you see that you just have big gap, miscommunication, misunderstanding, and you don't know how to prevent. Of course, I don't know who can help you with this, which books you can read, right? In your university degrees, you can obtain 10 of them. However, if you don't know how to communicate to people who are very close to you, what success is? No, I don't think it will be success. It will be more, I would say, crash.
Yeah. And also, the books is all good, but I find that some of the books are, not all books are written in the same quality. No. Some are better, some are worse. Plus, some are contradictory to each other. So how do you know if this is the right book for this situation and not another book? So I agree with you, mentors are what you need at that time, people who have had those challenges. And especially, I guess, because in your case, family is business and business is family, it's all interrelated, it's a bit more difficult to segregate. Usually people, after 6 p.m. I go home and now I'm not thinking about work anymore. I believe you don't have the same luxury.
No, I don't. No, we never had, and especially right now when we moved to new property, reconciled personal and business at one location, it's becoming even more interesting because before, COVID, we traveled a lot. At least we have some time break from each other, right? Yeah, I traveled a lot. Like before COVID, I was in several countries like Australia, New Zealand, China, Europe and, US. And suddenly you ended in a backyard, right? Mm-hmm. And for a couple of years you lived together.
Yeah.
So we didn't scratch faces, but we had to cope with all those challenges. And where a lot of people didn't know what to expect. And this was painful because you plan. And what else? Every time, you need to make changes and adjust. Business plan. I didn't have business plan. Mm-hmm. Okay, I put one. However, this business plan is useless because we have new situation.
Yeah.
And new environment, economical environment. And, before you struggle to find right people, now it's the same and even more harder. Plus you have, logistics issue and something else, right? And have to go through this and not to ruin relationship at the same time. Have to be in a winning position or compromise. I don't know, you know. And sometimes you have situation, you just learn. Oh, good, I know. Next time I will know what to do. Next time comes, no, you don't. And even now I'm taking some courses. Even now I'm, having mentors and I'm talking to them and it looks like the same, what, I perceived 5-10 years ago is different right now. It's a level of maturity.
Yeah.
When you're ready, right? And you have better understanding how to do it.
And also, I guess, even if it's the same, there's some minor difference that makes the whole situation different as well. And the same solution that applied 5 years ago may not apply today anymore.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, I agree with you. And sometimes, yeah, in Canada, in Alberta, I know many businesses as a family businesses. And this is kind of, I would say, very, common.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I heard people say, oh, I would never work with my wife or my husband. And I like, why? And COVID proved when people, lost ability to be separated and they lived for long under the same roof, some kind of separations later, divorces and so on. Yeah. And especially senior people, when, they retired and they have to spend time together 24 hours, right? At least we pass this, 24 hours. But it doesn't mean we don't have anything to argue. We still do.
Of course.
We still do, we still argue. Because as I said, every year, right now, not 5 years, every year is different. Mm-hmm. And you have to adjust and be flexible.
And this year is especially different. Every month is different, I would say, because,
yes.
And to your point earlier, throughout the year, it's all about news. And actually, this is one of the reasons that I thought that this would be a good podcast, because I wanted to have people listen to something positive and not just the negatives of the news that we see today. But continuing the conversation of family, it's not now yourself and your husband, but now your daughter is entering the business too. So now you're kind of all doubling into the business, basically. But what does it mean to you as a parent that your daughter is coming into the business?
Very good question. She is extremely technical, and she helps us time to time when we were able to secure big projects, and she would help with marketing materials, especially with manuals, writing 500 pages and do translation. However, she is not in Calgary. She lives in LA, and her main business is a sound. She's a sound engineer. And recently, what did happen, I was supposed to go to OTC for biggest oil gas show. I couldn't, and I asked her to replace me. Mm-hmm. And she liked it. And, and she fully engaged right now. And she wants to do this, business development, client communication. And she actually obtained second degree in Victoria University in Canada. And I'm very happy about this, because for us it means she sees value, okay? She believes that we're doing something good, and she believes in what we are doing, and we have future. Eventually she will take over. This is what our plans are. And of course, the business will grow and continue. And she does everything 10 times better than I am, which it should be. Our kids should be better than we are, right? Yeah. But how she approaches and what she does, it's just amazing. She discovered new set skills, which even we didn't see in her, right? And we hope that will be not just moment, and she will still continue. And right now, it's for me even more harder, because I have to be very diplomatic with all, and even to think about myself, how to address. And once, she mentioned, "Oh, Mom, you interrupted me during a meeting." And I did once. "Oh, you're, vice president. Of course you can do it." No. It's all about respect. Yeah. And I have to even apologize if I did it, because I could, not paying attention and, interrupt, thinking I'm helping, it not necessary I'm helping. So you can imagine me being in position. I have to listen and I have to obey. And now our daughter would tell, "Mom, you do this and you do this, and tomorrow I need to have this," right? And I'm like, something changed. It should be opposite. Now, she dictates. "Did you do it? So why you didn't go to meeting?" "Oh, okay, I don't understand." No, you are going, right? Mm-hmm. And I, prior, years, I would say, "No, I'm not."
Yeah.
But now, because for me, it's very important that she is in,
Yeah. Yeah.
that even I don't agree, okay, but I have to do it. Now another push, okay, another push. And I scheduled some meetings for her. 2 weeks ago, we had the GS, a Global Petroleum show, energy show right now called. And I scheduled a meeting. I said, like, well, no, it's early. I don't want to go. No, you will. And I'm like, yes, I will.
But do you mentor her now? Are you sharing your experiences, what you had to go through with her? Or do you think that's...
When she wants.
When she wants.
Yeah. When she asks. I don't give advice to anyone, even my daughter, right? What is good for me not necessarily will be good for her. We are different people. And when she asks, yes, I share my opinion. And I'm trying to articulate carefully. I don't want to be bossy even for her. It's, it's still a lot to do and work. Right now, we are getting busier and busier. We've never been so busy like even before COVID. We have a lot of inquiries, and I'm scared if all those projects become through, who will be doing? Because we're still looking for people. And when someone is looking for a job, we're looking for technical people.
Yeah. Okay. And so that's an advertisement for you. Like if you're good technical skills.
We're constantly looking for people. Yeah.
Okay. And in terms of that, in terms of the technical skills, do you find that some of the technical knowledge that some of the immigrants may have, will it be different to some of the technical knowledge some people who grew up here would have? And what I mean by that is maybe it's because of university, what they teach, or maybe it's more of the machinery or the equipment kind of thing that people, like for example, I know that in back home, the equipment that they use in the energy space is different than the ones they use here, just because of the background of the Soviet history and all those type of things. So do you find that the technical side of things, is it easy for people to assimilate, or they still have to go through some challenges and hoops?
Depending. When we're talking about those type of specialists like electronics developers or technicians, people coming to Canada, they have much stronger level of education and practical experience. I don't know what happened, but unfortunately we didn't find anyone who would possess strong, level or desire to do electronics, not from Calgary of University or University of Alberta. A little bit better from, University of Victoria, but it was like computer and electronics, all together. Sometimes you can be surprised by a graduate from SAIT, but this is another level what we need, right? However, when we're, projecting to oil gas, MWD, LWD, measurement well drilling, with, experience in oil gas, still Canadians are the best in this case. And it takes time to educate people. They have no, so much knowledge and understanding, safety matters, and how to do this job, okay? I don't know why people doesn't matter who they local or recent graduate or just newcomers, they expect that you have to train them. I don't know where it's coming from. Nobody trained me or my family. I don't mind, because this is kind of part of what we offering to train. Even you have someone super great with 10 years experience in electronics, but projects what we have require more and more engaging, and still need spend time with some individual until he will be ready to go, and it takes 1 year at least. However, this is not in our agreement or employment, just code that I have to train you.
Yeah.
And people think, oh, you know what, Google, ChatGPT will help you. They rely on this. And we, grown up people in era where we didn't have such a thing. Okay, we have to come with some ideas. We have to, find out. And we didn't rely on Google. Google can be wrong.
And you have to know how to search to find the answer. And on this note, we're already coming up to our time. I wanted to ask you for maybe one piece of wisdom, one piece of advice, one piece of motivation. What do you believe that's maybe some of our listeners going through some challenges will or need to hear?
Oh, yeah. Well, I would, just encourage people to believe in themselves. And if they made so much efforts to come to Canada, this is great country. If you know what you're doing, you have hands, you have some education and desire, as a matter of time, you will, reach the level where you want to be. Never give up, just simply, and don't listen others. As I said, I had chance to get job in Canada, being outside of Canada. Many people will tell you, not possible. No, it's not true. Truly depends on character, personality, education, set skills, and what you want to do. If you just want to grab a job, to survive is one story. If you want to, be successful, you have to be prepared to start from zero.
Yeah.
And work hard and learn, and you will be where you want to be, and you will be making 150 grand, but not at the beginning. Nobody will pay you such a salary, right? You need to learn how to work for $15 per hour first.
And slowly get to it. But I like the idea of never giving up. I think it's important to remember that. Unfortunately, sometimes it may seem that there's no light, that it's always going to be difficult. But if you persist, like you said at the beginning, and if you don't give up and you believe in yourself, things will happen. Good things will happen to people.
Always, because especially for, some people who just recently moved from, war. We are lucky. So what you complain, right? And especially if some Canadians complain, I can arrange tour to some countries for 2 days and, depression will vanish. I guarantee.
Well, on this note, Maria, thank you so much. I appreciate your time. Thank you for sharing your stories. It's an absolute pleasure to chat with you.
Thank you so much, likewise, and thank you for having me here.